What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here, and I am back with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black, Season 1, Episode 9, Blind Rage. And the synopsis for this episode reads, emotions run high as the Bellary family grieves and schemes. Fueled by vengeance, Kimmy begins a desperate search for her kidnapped sister Sylvie. And honey, y'all, Kimmy ain't playing. Kimmy is not playing this season. I'm telling you, every episode she going above and beyond for her sister. And that's what we talking about when you see some blind rage, I guess. Anywho, before we get started, if you're new here or are returning here and have not subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you hit that like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment and join the conversation and share, because sharing is what? Sharing is caring, and because you want to help a sister's channel grow. And believe me, I am grateful and thankful for all of you who support my channel and are helping me to grow. You guys got me out here. I enjoy doing this because I enjoy all of you. So, anywho, this episode starts off how episode 8 ended. Kimmy done smashed the car into Body, and she done killed Body. She killed Body. But it took Angel running over there to the car, trying to push her out the seat, telling her, move over, to get the car off of Body and back it up and take off. I said, ooh, she lost her mind. Meanwhile, back over to the private road, they letting the car burn. I'm confused why the fire department is sitting there letting the car burn instead of putting it out. Whereas Mallory comes out and then Roy comes out. Roy's like, is that my brother? Is that my brother? Why is it still burning? We don't know yet. He doesn't know yet. But you don't see them putting no water on that car trying to shut it down. Is it because it's gasoline burning? But I think they have stuff to put on a car with gasoline. Is it some kind of foam or something? But they're standing there while it's still burning, knowing there's a body in there. Somebody help me understand. So as soon as Horace comes over with his cane, he done walked down the private road. Now they putting the fire out, and he asks who's in there because he knows that's his son's car. He said his son don't let nobody get near that car. And they said it's too soon for us to know. They not sure and stuff. And he was pissed. He's like, I want everybody to my house tonight. And he told Mallory, get everybody there tonight. Meanwhile, we have Harold, the judge. He calls Norman to let him know that Horace wants to see him in a couple of hours. He said, go see him. He said, yo, man, why is he calling me? Am I walking into a trap? I don't know. What's the matter with you, man? They killed my wife, and then they went back to the hospital and killed her again. He's like, what? So he's like, yo, I don't think I should go. He said, go see him. He's like, all I did was make some lighter sentences for these people back then. And he said, that's what you want to keep telling yourself? He said, the truth is you got hundreds of thousands of dollars from a strip club that we were laundering money at. He's like, don't say that on the phone. So basically, Norman and Jules were doing some real illegal stuff other than this whole Beauty in Black business. So Norman got tired of talking to Harold and basically hung up on him. He's like, I'm up here telling you my wife died and all you keep thinking about is your damn self. So he was like, click. Then we see Olivia. She in bed working over this young dude. He got to be old enough to be her grandchild. I'm just saying. But anyway, she's upset because he can't seem to keep up with her in bed. I was like, okay, Miss Olivia, stop playing. So it seems like she has this guy, Tony, doing something for her, some kind of work or whatever it is, to get back at her ex-husband, Horace. She says she wants all of his money, I think, and his shares as well, because he tried to take all the money from her. So anyway, she started complaining and saying how that their father was brilliant because the will for the company has so many, she said, stipulations and rules that depending on how a member of the family dies or how they died or where they died determines on who gets the shares and how the shares are split. So while Olivia is talking to him, the phone rings and it's Mallory telling her there's been an accident. And Olivia said, is it Charles? She said, how did you know? She's like, is he dead? And Mallory said, I'm sorry. And then let her know that Mr. Bellary, talking about Horace, wants them all to meet at his house. And so they hang up the phone and all Olivia keeps saying is, he did it. He did it. I can't believe he did it. She knew it was Norman. So now we have Mallory calling the attorney Varney and letting him know that there was an accident, that Charles died. And he's like, what? What are you saying? He can't believe it. But this man almost gives himself away because you remember he and Charles were messing around, and he starts letting his emotions show when he's around the family, and it might tip some of them off that there's something going on between him and Charles. So now we have a scene where Kimmy and Angel in the car driving. She's being irrational and emotional. And I understand because it's her sister. But he's like, you got to lay low. You might end up in jail. I don't care about no jail. Well, if you're in jail, sweetie, you can't find your sister. So how you sitting there saying, I'm not going to let them do to my sister what they did to me? So he's telling her, you're a very smart person. I need you to think, take a minute and think. She wants to go back to Horace's house. I'm gonna go back to that old Igor's house. He said, are you crazy? Did you just see him shoot up and kill all them people and not blink and think twice about it? So she's like, somebody got to know something where my sister is. Call Jules. Call Jules. I'm like, girl, Jules gonna kill you for killing body. Come on. So basically what's going on is Kimmy needs an address for Delinda because Delinda's the one who drove off with her sister Sylvie in that van. So now back over at the private road, we got Jules showing up, and he has a connection with the police precinct and the police in that area. And so they said they found a watch, which has to go into evidence. And Jules wants the watch, and he reads it, and it says to Charles from Varney. And he's like, oh, like he already figuring out something is going on, and maybe Jules already had an idea, who knows. But he wanted to know, can they sit on this for a while? He doesn't want it to get out yet. If they move the car, make sure they cover it first, all this stuff. Then Varney comes running around there. Jules, what's going on? What's happening? And he's like, is it Charles? Yeah, we got to go tell the family. But he's already, you see his emotions. He's emotional. He's like, look, we got to talk to them. Get your head in the game. And Varney almost slipped up. He said, I just talked to him. And he's like, when? And then he said, oh, yesterday at the meeting. But he had talked to him that night, but he almost slipped up. That's why I keep telling you, there's going to be more of these slip-ups going forward. So Jules calls Norman because he already know it probably was him. And Norman didn't hide and say it wasn't him or nothing. Jules is telling Norman to lay low. And he said, I'm not hiding. He said, we need to see what your brother is pulling, Jules said. And he said, you ain't got to worry about my brother. He said, why? He said, it's Olivia you got to worry about. That biatch is the real one. He's like, how come I'm just now hearing about it? He said, because it's on a need-to-know basis. I said, oh, shoot. Then he let Jules know that Horace asked to see Harold, the judge. And Jules said, why? And he said, I think he knows something. And Jules like, if that fat mother FFF rolls over, I swear. He said, I already told him. So then Norman said he got to go. And he said, I got something to do. And Jules is like, don't do nothing stupid. Don't do nothing stupid. But let me tell y'all, I don't like Jules. Jules is playing all the family members. I don't know. At some point, it's got to catch up with him. He's playing brother against brother, acting like he's on this one side when he's on that one side, and then on that one when he's on this one. And he's going back telling stuff. That's a messy position he's in. And he needs to be careful. So now we see Kimmy and Angel. They're broken down, look like by a train track or something like that, and they need to get another car. And he's making a phone call, and Kimmy decides to call her mother and ask, what happened? What happened with Sylvie? How much did they pay you? What did you do? Did he touch her? All of these questions. And the mother's like, oh, you ungrateful, this, that, and the other. She just left, and I don't know what you're talking about. And now first Kimmy told her that she was going to call the police, but then Kimmy changed it and said she's going to kill him. And I don't think her mother really paid her any mind. But Kimmy ended the call with, if I don't find my sister tonight, I'm coming in and pay both of you MFers a visit. And then she hung up. So now we have Jules and Varney coming into Horace's house. And Horace asks, what did you find out? And Jules says, it was him. It was an ambush. I'm sorry. And Mallory's like, would they do that on a private road? He said, Horace said the same place where his wife was run over. And they were like, wait, we don't know that. We don't know it. They know it. They know it. So when he found out that Norman's wife was dead, then I think he understands why Norman is acting out right now. And so he asks Mallory, did you call Norman? She said it's going to voicemail. He's not answering. That's when Olivia came in and said, of course he's not answering. And then she mentions that the car was shot up and put on fire. And Horace is like, how you know? And she said, I got my sources, you know that. And so Mallory's finding out now, wait a minute, y'all saying Norman did this? How? And they was like, she said, your uncle is a monster. And Jules was like, no, we don't know that he did that. She said, tell me something different. She pushed him and stuff and grabbed his nuts and said, because you ain't got no balls. That's why she's grabbing. I said, oh my God, Olivia crazy. And then she just started crying, saying, I told him not to go home. I told him not to go home. And then she and Horace started arguing, and Mallory was trying to stop them. Yeah, it was messy. But you know what's so messed up about this whole thing? The part that's really messed up is that nobody's looking at Mallory, and she's the one who's responsible for all of this. Mallory's the one who hit the lady and left her in the street. Roy's the one who ran over her but picked her up and put her in the car. But it was Mallory who did it. And she has caused all this mess, and she sits there all innocent. So now Horace is telling Jules to bring his brother to him. So Olivia's saying he's not going to come. And Mallory's like, let me talk to him first to see if I can get him. And he's like, this is no time to be pleasant. This is war. He killed my effing son. And I'm sitting there going, the effing son you don't even like. You could care less about your sons. We all know that Horace could care less about his sons. He had a problem with the boy being gay. So what are we doing now, Horace? You being phony, because when Norman threatened y'all in the meeting that he was going to do that, you said, just do it. Stop talking about it and do it. That's what you said. So now we see Roy looking at his mother saying, why are you looking at me like that? And she's like what? And he's like, the same look that Pop gave me. You know, y'all wish it was me instead of Charles. And I was like, oh boy. She's like, would you give it a rest and stop? And the father said, yeah, that would be nice. And Olivia was like, Horace. And he said, no, Ma, let him. He said, I mean, he always hated me. Y'all both effing did. I said, oh my gosh. She was like, what? And he was like, y'all never gave me anything. Y'all didn't give ish about me. And the father said, we gave you everything, you selfish little whatever. And he was like, well, you could have gave me some love and a hug every now and then, Pop. So it became all of that. And then he said, well, at least now you'll get all his shares, you know. And then he said, oh, no, you won't, because the language reads, if it's a murder, you can't get it. So he's always high and drunk and whatever else, but he knows the language in that will. It's funny that they all know that, because they're all greedy. Mother, shut your mouths. So then he said, y'all both sucked as parents and stuff. And he kept saying stuff. And Olivia went and got the knife that was on a platter, and she threw it, and it went right past his head. And he's like, see what I mean? She said, I missed on purpose. She said, you keep effing with me, and next time I won't. I said, oh, they said Olivia is the one. She the real one. That's what Norman said. So Roy leaves out of the house and goes outside to smoke a cigarette. Mallory goes out there to meet him and said, I don't want to be out here with you. He's like, you need to go back in. She said, I'm only out here to make your family think I give a F about you, but I don't. You know, so while she was out there, they started talking about the shares and how he would get the shares and all this stuff. Greed is what drives them all, I tell you. But anyway, she basically said, let me hug you. So because I know your family's watching, and I'm going back in. So she hugged him and rubbed his back, and then she kissed him and said, I don't love you so much. She said, I don't love you so much. He told her, just go the F back inside and leave him alone. So now we see Kimmy and Angel in some type of garage, and his boy's supposed to hook them up with a car. And while Angel's talking to his boy, Kimmy gets a call from Rain. And then she ends up telling Rain a little bit of what's going on, how they took Sylvie. And she's like, what? And Rain is in pain and stuff. And she's like, I got to get out of this hospital. She's like, you need to calm down. She's trying to calm Kimmy down. Just talk to me. What happened? What's going on? Kimmy got tired of talking and hung up on her. And so she called Angel. Angel answered the phone, and she said, Angel, you got to get her calm. That girl, once she gets there and get mad, there's no coming back. He said, yo, I saw it. She said, are you near her? Yeah, put me on speaker. And she still tried to talk Kimmy down, trying to stop her. Please don't go to that man's house. She told about Horace's house, where Horace shot up all them people. Kimmy losing her damn mind. She not thinking, because if she go there and get shot up, then what? She ain't gonna get her sister back, and they gonna trick her sister out like they did her. So she's not thinking clearly at all. She is all over the place. So she tells Kimmy that she knows the Linda's address where she lives. She said, give it to me, text it to me. She said, you got to promise me you're not going to go to that old guy's house. She finally said, okay, I'm not going to go now. Give me the damn address, you know. And so she said, I'll text it to her. And then Kimmy walked away, and Angel standing there, and he tells Rain, look, she walked away. She don't care anymore. And he said, I gotta go because she's leaving me. So then he tells Kimmy that his friend's going to let him use the car, but we got to be careful because it's hot. She said, then get the effing car and let's go. I said, oh my God, Kimmy is a piece of work. So now back at Horace's house, we have Barney in the kitchen crying and stuff like a little biatch. And, you got to be professional, hold your emotions. And Mallory comes in, are you okay? You okay? Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot, and she tries to talk to him a little bit about things you could do when you're dealing with grief. And then she said, he's going to need a suit. So he said, I could go by and pick up a suit for him. She said, I'll show you where he hides the spare key. He said, oh, I have one. She said, you have a key to his house? And he's like, oh, no, I know where the spare key is, he said. I said, about to blow his cover again. Then he started getting emotional. But I don't understand why people would do that. Why would somebody, she said, look, you got to move on and keep going. Move on. It's not a big deal. What are you talking about? He started getting, she said, Barney, control yourself. And I said, look at him, about to blow his cover. So he makes it over to Charles's house, goes inside, sits on the couch. And all of a sudden, Charles is walking back and forth and comes in there. And he sees him, he's like, oh, he's like, what? Charles is ducking, like, what's going on? It takes Barney, I don't know how long to tell him that everybody thought he was dead. And then he told him about his car. He said, my car is messed up. He said, my car? He said, Igga, somebody died in your car. He said, well, look, he stole my car, he stole my watch, and he drugged me. Basically, that's what he gets. And he put his hands together and said, thank you, sexy stripper man. And he's like, you messing around and this is serious. He said, I know it's serious. But if he hadn't done that, he said, they shot the car up and burned it. He said, where? He said, on the private road. He said, oh, so my mother was right. My uncle was trying to kill me. He's like, are you not taking this serious? He said, I am taking it serious. I mean, what does Barney want him to do? How he supposed to feel bad when somebody died in a car who stole it from him and everything else? Come on now. So Barney said, let me call your parents now and let them know that you're alive. He said, for what? He said, shoot, if he said your family loves you, they're over there, they're upset, and he said, my family? He said, because my family is effed up. I told you that. He said, are you serious? They crying about me and sad about me? And he was like, yeah, they love you. He said, look at how the family split up and with the shares and stuff. They don't care about me or something like that. So he said, well, let me call them anyway. He said, no, if they're upset and suffering right now, let them suffer a little bit more. And Barney said, boy, you insane. And they started laughing. So then the episode ends with Angel and Kimmy pulling up to Delinda's house, parking outside, and Kimmy reaches into the back seat and pulls out a shotgun, y'all. Angel's like, whoa. She's like, what you doing? He said, just get off me. I'm going inside. Next thing you know, Delinda's in there minding her business. A chair comes through the door, breaks the glass. She's like, what the F? And Kimmy coming in with the shotgun. Where's my sister? Delinda was like, oh, and she started running. Kimmy shot. Pow! I was like, oh my God. Delinda was laid out on the floor for a minute and got up. And Kimmy said, biatch, I'm not going to ask you one more mother effing time. Where my sister? And she took a chair and smashed it down on Delinda. And Delinda got up and had grabbed the bottle and smashed it over her head. And then they fighting with the rifle. And Kimmy headbutted her and stuff. And next thing you know, the gun fell. Kimmy got Delinda up against the wall with a chair. And then Angel came running in there to break them up. He pushes Kimmy to the side, and then he got his forearm up against Delinda's neck, asking, where is Sylvie? And she's like, I ain't telling you ish. And Kimmy picked up the shotgun, and Angel's like, just tell us. He said, Jules is going to kill you MFers when he finds out. And Angel's like, just tell us where she is. She in hell. And where were you when your sister was getting raped? Who you trying to be? Wonder Woman, mother effer? You're pathetic. He said, just tell us where her sister is. And she said she's getting effed by a bunch of truck drivers, mother effer. And Kimmy went, pow, and shot homegirl in the head. And Angel's head was right there. And he had blood splattered all over him. He was holding his ear like, oh, snap. What the F? And Angel was just standing there looking at it. And Kimmy said, let's go. And he ran after her. So that's how this episode ended. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comment section. But Kimmy ain't here to play today. She is not. She done killed Body in the last episode, and she done killed Delinda in this one. So who's next, y'all? Who's next? Anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.